I'm going to make this quick video, and I just want to point out some things that hopefully we can relate to. And I've seen some things and some new empowered individuals that I could relate to, and it's on the topic of family. Um, for me, it's really difficult, right? Let me start off with this. We know that the whole idea of a family that America presents is bullshit, right? That Coke bottle can, Pepsi bottle can family that they portray to the world ain't shit, and it's a facade. That's a form of control, and it's more so of a idealistic control to keep you in line in efforts of chasing that American dream. We know the only time that you dream is when you're asleep or unconscious, i.e., in a daze. That's the whole narrative of an American dream. Okay, American dream is a facade, it's fake, it's something that you'll chase until you die, and the only way you'll really get it is if you sell out for it. So back to the family theory. I hear a lot of people talking about how their family have been manipulated or compromised. I don't believe that. I'm just not. There's something in my spirit that's just not going to allow me to agree with the narrative that your family is just going to be able to have a bird in their ear, a badge, and somebody come up to them and tell them such and such and such, and blackmail, pay them, or manipulate them into doing the things that happen to you. I'm just not going to believe it. It just doesn't make sense. Because if we think, okay, we have been the black sheep of our family, we may not have been loved by our family. I think a lot of us can attest to, just never. It just always seemed like we could never get any kind of advice from our family. It just never happened. It was like we have brothers and sisters. It seems like they took to them more than us, whether it be younger or older, in the middle, right? It just always seems like, the advice wasn't there. The love wasn't there. It always seems like a battle between parents, speaking for myself specifically. So for me, right, if the mantra is we've been targeted majority of our lives, right, and we only have faced this situation with our family upon our awakening, then that is the trigger to the real persons who we call family, right? The trigger is becoming awake and exposing them and realizing that they're just like everyone else out here. I'll share with you this. There's a woman who is going through the same thing we go through, and during her testimony, she shared that they were messing with her family. Now, to me, I've never heard that because majority of the people who are empowered in this situation, I've heard their families turning on them. They feel like their family, has been, compromised. And I'm just not willing to believe that you can compromise true family. Because we all know that there's that one person in our family that runs their mouth and comes back and tells everything about everybody. And in order to get that person to shut up, hell would have to freeze over. So I'm not buying the whole mantra of your family doesn't know. No, your family knows and aware. And going back to the lady's testimony, it's either two type of people in this whole phenomenon. You're going to have family that are going to deny it, and therefore they'll be attacked, right? Or meaning deny it, meaning they're not going to be a part of it. Or you have the family that's going to go along with it. And that seems to be the majority. Because I can tell you that throughout this whole my awakening for the last 4 years, my family's finances have seemed to get stronger. They never really had quote unquote financial issues, but now that I see, put both my brothers through college, bought my brother a car for his graduation gift, So I don't really see how they're being affected by this. Now, we know that well, I shouldn't say my family is full of Masons. We know that Masons and Eastern Stars are opportune to certain things, and they're giving more opportunities and advances. So that's why they may have a little bit of money prior to this whole phenomenon, but now it's as if they weren't getting paid. They're damn sure maintaining. So that's one thing. I look to her story and my story to see how they differ, because as we know, if you're going to fight the system, you're going to pay. And I don't see any family, and I don't hear any other families paying like we pay. I don't hear anyone even trying to give advice. For me, it seems to always be the narrative that I'm crazy, they're worried about me, right? That's the gaslighting. The gaslighting is where it's like, we're concerned, we're worried, we only want the best for you. Meanwhile, they're doing everything they can to speed the process up of whatever the plot is um, for these satanic persons. And so the only way that they can get help, the only way that they find help is putting you back in the system. That's the only form of help. They don't want to pray. They don't want to ask questions about it. They don't want to learn about what you're going through. I tell them that I have a following. I tell them that people in other states and countries are going through what I'm going through. And they almost turn ghostly like, because it doesn't feed their narrative if you can provide facts that you're not the only one going through this. They hate that. They hate when you can, and I'm speaking for my family, they hate when you can provide facts that you're not crazy in what you're going through. They hate it because they look dumb. They look very dumb. They have nothing to say. Mush mouth. Right? So I just want to get on here quickly and say, look, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we have to come to the realization that a lot of your families, if they if it seems like they're gaslighting you, if they're targeting you, if they're going along with the program, they're calling you crazy, if they say you need to get help, it's because they've been in it all along. You have to look at their lives, look at what they do, and I gotta tell you, there's people on all types of scale. And this is not what I'm realizing in closing is that in order for you to make $1, all right, in order for you to have a bank account, in order for you to have some sort of income in this sadistic system, you have to compromise. And it's really what you're willing to compromise for. It's really how you can be used. Because not everybody has talents and gifts. Not everybody can be used in the same form of fashion. That's why you have celebrities, and that's why you have middle class, you have rich, you have wealthy, upper middle class, lower middle class, poverty. And we know a lot of times the impoverished are the minorities. Why? Because they don't see any use for them other than what? Controlling them and putting them in jail, making more money in jail off them than they would having them try to get out of the way, pay taxes every year. Scamming and scheming, right? That's the system setup. So if you see anybody with a little bit of money, average lifestyle, best believe they compromise to get it. Because I'm telling you, man, there's no way in the world you're going to have people of all kind of classes and creeds doing this. They're all trying to hold on to something. So, I deal with reality, and the reality of this situation is that these people, these persons, our family are well aware of what they're doing. So hold them to that. Shalom.